And with that thinking and that love and that feeling and spirit of generosity, it makes absolute sense to bring our next speaker to the stage. He is elegance, charm, and grace. He is Roland Mouret, Virgo, with a rising sign in Leo. And he's married with his partner and lives in Suffolk. He is a pessimist who always reacts with optimism. He never competes with others, only ever himself, because when you compete with yourself, you can never lose. You can only win. He loves a challenge without a blueprint. He's an outsider who is always in. So I give you the charming Roland Mouret. Please join us. Welcome to Marka, Roland. It's so lovely to have you here.
Hello.
Roland, I've got my first question for you, very, very simply. Talk to me about women. Talk to me about your love of women.
Oh, my love of women. I think I'm really lucky to know why I'm a fashion designer, because women exist. And it's something that I knew that was my purpose.
So women, they're the inspiration and the source.
Women are my way of really understanding why I do that job.
Fantastic.
I
Well,
don't think
women also love you, Roland. I mean, you managed to elegantly dress them. It's now 20 years that you've been at the top of your game,
Yes.
international fashion designer. You have your first fragrance, Une Amorette.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Is my French good?
Yes.
Une Amorette. You also have your first book. What's been the underlying principle of your success?
I think I learned really rapidly when I was a child. The first line is, my father was a butcher. That's how he started. It started with the fact that my father wanted me to be a butcher, and I learned really rapidly how fabric can trap you in situation or free you of situation. And I was wearing that big white apron as a child of 7 years old. It's not something you wear, all your friends don't wear it. And the way you fold it on yourself when it's dirty, that was my first fashion draping.
And how did that inspire you? Butchery, working in Lourdes with your parents. How did it inspire your concept in terms of fashion?
I think it took me a lot of years to learn fashion, because I never went to school. I went just 3 months to school. I went to Paris. I went clubbing for 10 years. I went to learn life in one of the best places of the 80s, which was Le Palace. I was out every night, and I learned society, I learned people, I learned age, I learned youth, I learned wealth through one big space which was so decadent. And when I went to London, I was 36. I did different jobs before. I had a bar, I was a video director, I was multi-talented, but I never tried to do what I was supposed to be, which was a fashion designer. And at the age of 36, I realized that if I didn't try, I was going to become quite a bitter person, bad-mouthing the young one who tried to do it.
So there's this, I sense this never surrender, never say die, this fighting spirit as part of your DNA. Is that right?
It's really important, because when you don't think, the question of my father was all the time, why you? Why do you think you're going to become famous? What is that thing? What is that arrogance to think that you deserve to have to be a public person? And I never seen it like that. I was like, but I was born that way. I was born to be a fashion designer. I was born to do the same job than you. That was a butcher, but that was really creative as a butcher. And as a fashion designer, I'm really creative, but the two of us We deliver a service. We sell our creativity to bring something in people's life.
You're described as a sensuous architect. Is there a DNA? Is there a signature?
My hands, it's my hands. Because I never went to school, I took every mistake as a strength. I took a square of fabric and I started to wrap that fabric around the female form. I didn't know how to make a jacket or a trouser because it's technical. I did a dress. And it took me 10 years to learn to put a zip and the lining inside because the first one was really beautiful but really itchy on the skin.
So do you sketch
No.
and then... No.
No.
Is it always draping?
I take fabric and I drape. The beauty of, people call me as a master of fashion, but I was a master at draping. But to become a master, you have to be a slave. You have to accept the fabric is going to drive you in a direction.
So is that fabric part of your philosophy? Is there a philosophy behind your process?
We are not made to run naked in the street in the morning. That's a nightmare. We are made to dress and to finish ourselves with clothes. We are made to define our identity through fabric. And I try all the time to find that balance that gave a sense of happiness and a sense that you hold with yourself.
You found that in your galaxy dress. I mean, that dress is that is Roland Mouret. It comes to
Yes.
mind, galaxy dress. Tell me about that.
The galaxy dress was, I think, the first dress where it changed my career for one reason, is the difference between a model who's going to catwalk for 30 seconds for you and a woman is one thing, is the bra. Women wear bra, models don't. That's when you start from that situation, I say, I want to do a dress that women really are going to enjoy to wear like a model, but they're going to enjoy to wear it with a bra. And what sounded like a restriction became an amazing challenge. And that's why I say I love challenge that don't have a blueprint, because no designer went through that process before me. Is to accept the reality of a woman as a starting point and not treating their work like it has to be so coming from another world and you bring it to woman. No, I went from woman to there.
Fantastic. So your customer, actually, while we're on women, which is your favorite part of the woman? Is it the breast?
Oh, you
Is
like
it,
that?
Is
I like the bums.
You like bums?
I'm a bum guy.
I like it all. I think it's all
I
there.
love bums. I think bums are easy because most of the time people don't like them, but the way you can shape them, you can make something so attractive and so desirable.
There's a real insight, though, there from the mind of the customer, which is, of course, women really want to look good in their dresses, too. And is that what you mean by going from the woman to the dress?
No, I think women want to be seen for who they are. And women, compared to guys, are more multi-personalities. You are from wife, girlfriend, mother, businesswoman. You have to change so much. You can change personality like you can change shoes. Guys, we have flat shoes. That's why we stop. We just have one personality. Woman is multi-personality. And I think women are all the time, it's never given on a platter to be a woman. You have to fight to become who you are. You have to fight to make what you want to be seen as. And that's what I'm really proud to make women clothes, is because I think my clothes are tools to help them to be what they want to be.
I want to now look at your journey. Have you ever worked for anybody else
No.
as a designer? No, never.
I never went to school. I never learned to be a fashion designer. I went out clubbing for 10 years. I think I learned that. And I think we all have a gift, and my gift are my hands.
You then became part of what was called the demi-couture movement.
Yes.
Alexander McQueen,
Hussein
Hussein
me.
Chalayan.
Yeah.
So this is from, if you like, an sort of traditionally educated place to suddenly being at the height of couture. How was that?
It was not the height of couture. It was trying to redefine female form. And I think the three of us, we went through the high level of fashion, which is couture, to try to understand what the female form is about. At the time we did that, it was quite the years of heroin chic. The models were really skinny. They were really East European. It was really difficult for women to define in the magazine their own body shape.
Now, business story. Roland Mouret, king of fashion,
No,
2006, 2006.
Was I? I lost my crown.
You lost your brand? What happened?
In the 90s, it was quite a normality that rich customer in London, especially was the cool Britannia, you had all these kind of people coming around the world. Rich customer wanted to be business partners. And I had a Scottish lawyer as a business partner. He lasted 5 years. We handed it was a divorce. She owned most of the share of the company, and I let it go. I gave her what she wanted.
But you also gave her your brand, your very name.
No, I gave the name, but I didn't give my hands.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
you have to define all the time in a business what is the business couldn't live without. A business can live without a name. You create another name. I was lucky that my signature was so visible on the clothes, you didn't need to go inside to check who was the designer. You could see it on a rack in a store. That's a Roland Mouret. It was quite easy to let it go, ish. But I love the challenge because nobody did it too. And I think still at the moment, I'm the only designer who came back and took back the business at the level he left it without his name.
Roland Mouret, no longer able to use this as a name. What
Yeah.
did you do?
You just reevaluate your life.
But I mean, in terms of practicality, what did you put on the label in your...
I did RM, my initial, by the designer.
So
Roland,
it was RM.
By the designer, Roland Mouret.
And then after 4 years...
5 years.
What happened?
I bought back the name because we opened our first flag store in London, and I needed to have the name of my father to put on the top of the door.
So you were now back with Roland Mouret.
Yes.
But as you say, the brand is not the name, the brand is you. And you were able to then manifest that through your new, if you like, phoenix rising.
I think the brand is the customer. The real brand is the customer, is that journey I go through with them. I consider fashion all the time like playing tennis. You send the ball, the customer sends back the ball, and it's becoming a game. It's becoming really something interactive. Never expect where the ball comes from. That's the way I really enjoy fashion. Other designers just love to play against the wall with themselves. I like to play with the customer.
Talking of the customer then, and you mentioned this earlier, you say you listen very carefully to your women.
Yeah.
And then how do they inspire your business?
It's really funny because we think fashion is superficial. We think women are superficial. And we are so wrong because women are so practical when they buy clothes. Even the more expensive one, even if it's a pair of shoes of Louboutin which is uncomfortable, it will go on the shelf because it's really decorative. But most of the time, when women buy clothes, they're really practical. There is a purpose. They are so alive that fashion has a purpose. My first little story, when I went to New York, I went to Bergdorf, and the first question of women say, I've got a bar mitzvah this weekend. Where are the dresses with long sleeves? And when you have this kind of really objective need of a dress with long sleeve in a woman's wardrobe, use your creativity to do it. Be creative around it.
So the customer at the center of your business, a completely customer-focused business.
Completely.
If you could go, we've got 52 seconds.
Yes.
If you could go back 20 years to the younger you, it's the young Roland Mouret.
Yeah.
What single piece of advice would you give him in terms of guiding your way forward?
I think nothing, because I think I have no regrets. I'm lucky to be where I am. I'm lucky to be, like you say, an outsider who's all the time in. I'm happy that my ego is not what made me famous, but I need to have a bit of ego.
You need ego, but equally, you need charm. Ladies and gentlemen, the charming Roland Mouret.
Thank you. Really beautiful.
Merci bien. Okay.